So just welcome everyone. It is a big, bold, brave move, taking some of your time to give to this experience. So I just want to thank you so much for showing up to play. And it truly is through an intention of experimenting, of getting our own experience that we're anchoring today. But I want to introduce myself first. I am Zoe, Dr. Zoe Lumiere. And I am Phoenix's mum. He is so cheesy to say, but he did rescue us about 4 years ago. And I am a life coach. I do have a doctorate in spiritual science. I actually did my practical treatise on happiness, on how is it that we have a greater experience of happiness? How do we start our days in happiness? And the number one thing that I found in that process was spending time within, spending time with ourselves, doing things that we love, in love, disconnected from the physical world, but being connected with ourselves. So I'm so excited to share a little bit about that today. We do also have an organization called Allowing.Love, and it is a coaching organization, but a lot of people call it uncoaching because it isn't about really clearly finding out what is it that we want. Then let's create those clear next steps, and then let's make shit happen. This, the Allowing.Love process is the opposite of that. If anything, it's about letting go of our attachment and letting go of the ways that we push and control in service to maybe that love, that heart that does guide us more effectively into the life that we want. So that's me. I'm Zoe.
I'm Eric, and I'm really here to support Zoe, who's kind of, she really walks her talk and inspires me every day and how she shows up in the world, and I learn a lot from her. And I'm also here just to, I guess, what I do well. We kind of learn what we all do well in this world, and for me, it's just to show up and hold a loving energy. And really, the invitation here is not to be perfect. It's not to get these habits down and do them every single day and, to 100%, whatever that means, but really to relax and to spend more time with ourselves, with our hearts, with that loving energy, whatever you call it, joy, happiness, freedom, sweetness, relaxation. You could use so many words for it, but that word that for you is your essence, when you're just when you don't need anything, you don't have to do anything to be valuable, to be worthy, to be important, that just being is enough. And when we do from that state of being, when we do move in our day from that place, it's really just magical in my experience, that miracles, synchronicities, everything happens so perfectly and gracefully. We're not pushing, as Zoe said. So anyway, I know that's more than just introducing myself, but that's kind of what I'm about. I really am good at relaxing, letting go. And Zoe's really good at showing up and creating it and making things like this workshop happen. So we work together really well. And we're just glad you guys are here. Thanks for showing up. That's really most of the job here, is to just show up.
Yeah. And hopefully at some point we will be able to do a better introduction of Phoenix. But right now he is just loving us all and relaxing in the corner there. So honey, would you call us into this present moment? And so I'm just encouraging us all to do whatever we need to do to truly let go and relax in this. I am going to close my eyes just to really let go. And so I encourage you to do whatever feels best for you.
Yeah, so this is just a centering. It's really just to come present. If you know Eckhart Tolle talks about presence. If you know us, we talk about love. If you know other people, they talk about light or source. So whatever gets you into that place that is just here and now, just come into this breath. I find breathing is one of the easiest ways to connect. So just allow yourself to be breathed. Let go of your attention that may be elsewhere, and just start relaxing into your own breath and into the mystery of how that works. How is it that when we let go, there's still this thing, this energy that breathes us, that lives us, that says, I'm here, I'm alive. And as you just let yourself be breathed, you might notice the gentleness of it. That it's not forceful in this moment. And that it's consistent, that it's always there for you, as long as you're meant to be here. So we just relax into this, and we just ask to let go of anything from our lives, from yesterday, from even this morning, that's no longer of concern at this time, so we can be really present for this experience. And we also ask to let go of anything that's no longer serving us, any patterns, habits, beliefs, judgments, misunderstandings, and also in any way that we've been hard on ourselves, that we think we should do better or be different, that we can just let that go, let ourselves off the hook, that maybe how we are and what we do is enough. Maybe it's more than we can imagine with our wiring, with our personality, with our family that we grew up with our circumstances. Maybe we're just doing an incredible job living. We have no idea how big it is, how full it is. And so we just ask to allow that knowing inside that we are enough as we are. And also that knowing that we would like to receive and to experience more love, more expansion, more upliftment, more joy. And you can just throw in any words, any frequencies, experiences that you'd like to experience more of. And so we just ask to open up to experience more of these, especially at this time in this workshop. And that we can know that we can really create and allow our own happiness, our own joy, our own fullness and fulfillment from inside out, that it doesn't matter what happens in the world, that we can still know ourselves, know the love. And so we're just so grateful to be here and to take this chance, to take this risk and this opportunity, especially if you may not know anyone here. Thank you for taking this opportunity, for showing up. We're just so grateful to be together and to have this intention of greater love, greater joy, etc. And so it is.
So it is. Alrighty. So I'm just going to anchor a couple of things before I share a little bit of information. And then we're actually going to dive into a live experience of the first two habits that you are invited to play with, to experiment with, to pick up and make your own. And I'm just going to encourage us all to do that for the next 2 weeks. There is no such thing called perfection in my physical world. So I encourage you to let go of the idea of doing it perfectly for 2 weeks, but to have an intention that we're going to do our freaking best to show up for the next 2 weeks to really get our own experience of does actually doing these couple of things in the morning, does it make a difference? Like, who cares what the science is? Who cares if it works for me or works for someone else? Does actually prioritizing a little more time for you in the morning and doing these couple of simple things, does it actually make a difference? And so we're also going to set up the opportunity for a little tracking, a little awareness to help us. be aware, is there some value that we're receiving from this? And so that's really my intention. We're going to do steps 1 and 2 today. We're going to learn habits 3 next week. For all of you that do know me and have done coaching programs with me before, you know that I like to overcomplicate things. So I have done my best to simplify, but please bear with me. My brain works a particular way. I love the details. I love complex things. So there is a lot of information and there are a lot of nuances here. So I'm going to do my best to dive into them, but in service to you getting your own experience. So the encouragement that I have for you is do this workshop, spend this next hour like a 5-year-old, right? Like our big adult brains, why are we doing this? Does this work? What? Think, figure out, need to know why we're doing something, rather maybe just show up like a 5-year-old and just effing dive onto that playground, dive onto the jungle gym, dive into that sand pit and get your own experience of what this is. And for your big brains, I am going to give you a little bit of information just to help open that mind, but really it's going to be about the experience here. Okay.
Sounds good.